Hello, fellow creatives. So you want to start an online storefront to sell your art as prints, stickers, keychains, and other merch? Maybe you already have a shop set up, but you just want some advice. This guide will be a quick start tutorial to get you going. It'll be geared towards illustrators, but the advice can be applied to any shop owner. I'll give you tips based on what I've learned from my shop over the years, as well as manufacturers you can use, and important info to help jumpstart your business.
Let's go!
I've been on Etsy for 4 years and have made over 1,370 sales with barely any following on my socials, and while spending no money on advertising. I make new products every once in a while and ship orders when I get them, but my shop has been a pretty passive, low-effort income for the last few years. Starting your shop is the hardest step, partly because of all the uncertainty that comes with it. There's so much that you don't know yet. Step 1. You know you've got to do it. Now it's time to seriously consider what your shop name will be, and then start designing your branding to make your shop uniquely recognizable. This includes deciding on your logo, color palette, theming, fonts, and a mascot character or object that can be used on your shop and socials, as well as in your packaging. Create branding that resonates with you, and that also matches your product, so that customers can get a strong initial appeal when they find your shop. If you don't have any graphic design experience, I highly recommend looking at other businesses' branding and seeing what they do that feels right, or out of place to you. Don't outright copy, but you can borrow and combine some elements, then put your own artistic twist on it to make it yours. Some quick graphic design tips. Only use 2 to 4 colors for all your branding. You can look up color palette inspiration online. I even have a Pinterest board just for that. I'll link it in the description below. Another design tip. Pick 2 to 4 fonts that you'll use for everything, and make sure at least one of those fonts is super readable at all sizes. You'll also want to tie your branding into your packaging, such as the color usage of your materials, your business card, using ink stamps or stickers with your shop logo, sticker labels, and thank you cards. By personalizing your packaging, it not only adds interest and appeal to your products, but people will be more likely to remember your shop brand and return later to buy more from you. Having appealing, cohesive branding makes your shop look more professional, and it reinforces a personal connection that helps build trust. It's the artistic, personal touches that differentiate your shop from generic Amazon products, and that's what people buying from small shops want to see. Make people feel good, and sweeten your brand appeal so that it feels like something special. Step 2. Which online shop platform should you use? If you don't have much of a following on social media, I would highly recommend using Etsy. The discoverability on Etsy is fantastic because they already have hundreds of millions of shoppers on there, and it's growing every day. If you're selling high-quality products that people want, the listing photos look professional, and you use searchable titles for your products with descriptions, as well as using all 13 hashtags that Etsy provides for each listing, your product will be found, and it's only a matter of time before you get sales. Etsy drives customers to your shop through searchability, but you still have to do research to make sure you're creating products that are actually in demand or not completely oversaturated in the market already. Etsy does include small fees when you make new listings and sales that other shop platforms don't have, but for me, it still costs significantly less than monthly payments you make for other shop platforms. And it's also incredibly worth it because on other platforms, I wouldn't be getting any of the sales that Etsy hands me daily with no effort. If you use another shop platform like Shopify, Big Cartel, or Squarespace, you'll find a fixed monthly fee, depending on the plan you want. You'll also have to spend time advertising and driving all the sales yourself by directing people to that personal shop site. This can work great if you already have a social media following, and you can just post to socials to let followers know about new shop products or when sales happen. Remember that no matter which platform you go with, your product photos have to read well in the listing photos with decent lighting, sharp focus, and a clean backdrop. Step 3. What will you sell? This is a large topic, so I'm going to break it up into sections. You won't know what sells well in the beginning, but you'll still have to make an initial investment to have some products made and lay the groundwork for your shop with your first few listings. It's good to aim for 3 or 4 different product types when you start off because you won't know what type you'll enjoy making the most or what sells well. Though it's also totally okay to focus on selling a certain type of product, like if you're an illustrator and you just want to sell prints. Though the caution here is that it may be a bit harder to be discovered with just one item type. Pick an underserved niche, something that isn't oversaturating the market. You're going to have a tough time as an unestablished seller if you're trying to sell Pokemon merch or something else extremely popular. Speaking of fan art, as a general rule, be cautious about selling fan art products. You can do it, but there's a chance your product may be taken down for IP infringement. With enough strikes against you, you could potentially be banned from your shop platform. Each IP holder has varying levels of strictness on this. However, most artists I know sell at least some fan art, including myself, because well-known established IPs already have a place in people's hearts, so they tend to sell well. If you're just starting out with a shop and don't have a following, many artists have found success by including a couple safe fan art products in their shop just to drive discoverability there, then have mostly original art products in a similar style. That way people may find your shop through your fan art, but they'll stay for the original art. As for the products themselves, prints. For illustrators, Prints are generally considered the easiest entry-level product because you probably already have some finished illustrations that could be made into prints. If you have a decent printer like a Canon or Epson that released in the last few years, all you need is some nice luster, matte, or satin type printer paper like Canon's Photo Paper Pro Luster LU101 or Red River's Ultra Pro Satin Paper. Then just balance the levels of your artwork in Photoshop or your preferred art program to make sure it won't turn out too dark, and print. I personally only print per order and don't keep a large backlog of prints because they don't sell well online for me. However, at conventions when I table at artist alleys, prints sell pretty well, especially fan art prints. I never make more than 5 prints per artwork, even for conventions. I made the mistake of creating 10 prints per artwork for my first convention in 2019, and I still have dozens of old extra prints from that. Don't make the same mistake, only print the bare minimum. A lot of artists use print manufacturers like Capprint, but I've had constantly bad experiences with Capprint messing up all my prints, being too dark and low quality, and the prints arriving weeks after they're guaranteed to arrive. Other highly recommended print manufacturers are Artist Express, Poster Ninja, Indigo Ink Print, and Victron Printing. I'll link all their sites in the description below. If you plan to make a lot of stickers and prints for your shop, I would recommend buying a printer and making them yourself. Not only will you have more control over the quality of your prints, but you'll save a lot of money, especially if you have a printer that can use generic ink cartridges you can buy for cheap in bulk on Amazon. However, if you want to make gold foil prints or spot hollow prints, it'd be worthwhile to use a print manufacturer. I've tried making these types of specialty prints myself, and it's a pain. It took way too much effort for what little you get out of it, and it wasn't cost effective for the supplies. Plus, I wasn't satisfied with the results. Lesson learned. Most artists won't give away their manufacturers because they don't want their manufacturer to get overwhelmed with new customers, causing their quality to go down and timelines for production to go up. However, I'm going to give you some suggestions to get you started. Vaugrace is good for a new shop owner to start with because they're so cheap and they offer a huge variety of products including keychains, stickers, pillows, and notebooks, among many others. The cons. Turnaround times can be a few months, and their quality can vary drastically. I found their keychain quality is decent, but it isn't great. For stickers, I've heard Sticker App is the best, and Sticker Mule is pretty good too. I prefer to make my own stickers and prints because the quality of all prints manufacturers can never match what I make at home, and prints are pricey, especially if you don't know how many will sell. For keychains, I recommend Zap Creatives. They make eco-friendly keychains with lots of options. They're a bit more expensive than Vaugrace, but their quality is amazing, and they can get your order in your hands within 2 weeks. They also sell stickers, pins, and standees too. For stickers sell best if you make them as sticker sheets or a packaged set of stickers. It's best to sell individual stickers with free shipping and send them via USPS letter mail with a stamp. As a note, Etsy doesn't directly support this because they prefer all packages to be trackable, but most sticker sellers still use this method because it saves the customer from paying $4 to $6 for shipping on a $3 to $5 sticker. Overall, stickers sell well for me, and since I make them myself, I can keep the prices really low. If you use a sticker manufacturer, you'll have to charge more per sticker to make up for the cost margins. Keychains and pins sell best for me. They have the best price margins apart from prints, which I make at home so it costs barely anything, but prints don't sell too often unless it's fan art from a popular franchise. From other artists, I've seen that t-shirts can do well too, if you have a fun graphic style or good humor for the shirt design. I've heard good things about awesome merch for t-shirts and tote bags, and they're in the US too. Pricing. You want to charge 2 to 3 times what it costs you in time and materials to make the product. Also, be sure to check out competitors to make sure you're not charging way too high or way too low. It's important to have packaging that fits all your items you'll be selling. If you're selling 8.5 by 11 inch prints, get some 9 by 12 inch flat mailers. If you're selling stickers, get some small 4 by 4 inch flat mailers. If you're selling keychains, get recyclable or compostable bubble mailers. Side note, I discovered recently that normal plastic bubble mailers aren't recyclable, so they're really bad for the environment. I've switched to using all recyclable or biodegradable packaging materials. Pregis Evertech makes super affordable, recyclable padded mailers that are fantastic. I get the 6 by 9 inch ones, and put the keychain in a patterned paper bag inside of that, along with a business card and a thank you note. Ink stamps with your branding logo are also a nice touch to add professionalism to your packaging too. Shipping. If you're using Etsy, they have built-in shipping options on their site that are already discounted at the best price. For the US, USPS is always the cheapest shipping option for small packages. I just drop off my packaged orders with the shipping label printed on them in a nearby USPS blue box. They're everywhere. There's probably one just around the corner from you. Just look up USPS collection boxes near me on Google. You'll probably be surprised by how many are within walking distance from you. If you're using another shop platform besides Etsy, Pirate Ship is the way to go, as the best prices for shipping with USPS. Also, you may not want to ship using your home address in the return address part of the shipping label for privacy and security reasons. There are a lot of virtual mailbox options for that. I use one called USA to Me that's free and provides an address I can use. It's super basic, but I don't have to pay for it in order to get the shipping address I can use for the return address label, so it works for my needs. I could talk in depth about this topic for days, so if you have questions or want to know more about a certain part, leave a comment and I'll answer your questions. You can also join the Facebook group Virtual Artist Alley Cancelled Convention Sale, as well as the Discord for Artist Alley Network International, in order to get all the help you need for specific questions, as well as to advertise your shop. You can get great tips and advice from these groups. If you want to learn more art tips, check out my other videos. Remember to subscribe. The path is paved before you. Now get going. You've got this.